The Clippers go Hollywood in the race between LA teams to land super point guard Chris Paul. It's the Clippers, not the Lakers, landing their man. You see the moving parts to the trade. Stephen A., you were hot on this yesterday. You didn't like the fact that they'd give up Eric Gordon in this deal, but they did. Now, here's a tweet from Magic Johnson. He says, Donald Sterling is doing everything he can to try to win the first championship for the Clippers. Goes on to say the Clippers are a serious contender to win the West with CP3. Is Magic right? Does this trade make the Clippers contenders?
I definitely think it does. There's no doubt about that. And let me say this. I was very reticent about giving up Eric Gordon, and I stand by that. But I was never fully against Chris Paul being on anybody's team. The dude's a superstar point guard. There's no denying that. I just feel like Eric Gordon has a tremendous upside, and I would have been very, very reluctant to pull the trigger on that deal. That's just how I feel.
But he's gone, and CP3 is there. Can they contend?
To your credit, you're absolutely on the money. But I will say this to you. The Clippers, the combination of Chris Paul and Chauncey Billups, with a healthy Caron Butler, who I spoke to last night. You've got DeAndre Jordan with Blake Griffin. This team is no joke. As far as I'm concerned, the Los Angeles Clippers have officially become one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference, and I dare say they are on the verge of being better than the Lakers before this season ends. This is a serious, serious move, because you're thinking Chauncey Billups might not want to come, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, but you're talking about Chauncey Billups showing up to practice today, and he is going to be your 2 guard, basically 2 point guards, a ball handling, passing, leadership, athleticism, perimeter shooting. They've got something special.
It's a nice crew now.
It's a nice crew. It is. I got to admit it.
Timeout. Did I just hear Stephen Naismith, who invented the game of basketball, give me credit for being right about an NBA topic about Eric Gordon?
Miracles do happen.
Wow.
Miracles do happen.
I was surprised that he wasn't harder on the trade, because you went in yesterday and said they can't lose Gordon. They can't.
Because I'm very, very high on Gordon, but I will acknowledge that the misnomer that I committed was not considering the fact that Chauncey Billups would play alongside Chris Paul.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I wasn't even thinking about that. I was afraid that Chauncey Billups was so distraught from the Knicks using the amnesty clause in him that he might not show up.
Right?
My point about Eric Gordon is they went 32-50 with Eric Gordon in his 3rd year last year. I agree with you. He can really shoot it. But he's an undersized shooting guard at about 6'3", who cannot defend the Kobes and the Joe Johnsons. So you can find somebody approximately like Eric Gordon. You can't find that other guy. He's the stud. CP3 is the guy who's going to change life for the Clippers.
What are they now?
I think they're just a playoff team.
Yes,
but he will.
we agree there.
Yeah, not
a home seed playoff.
They don't have the depth.
Not a serious contender.
Will you go as far as?
And by the way, I think Magic is just trying to goad the Lakers into responding to the Clippers.
Maybe.
I wouldn't go that far. He definitely wants the Lakers to respond to the Clippers, but they are not just a playoff team. They won't win the. They won't win the championship this year, but they are not just a playoff team. And the reason what I would bring to your attention, Skip, is what the Memphis Grizzlies did last year in the play. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did.
You had Marc Gasol. You had Zach Randolph. Rudy Gay was hurt. Marty Conley. I mean, these boys, you look at the team that they have. They beat the Spurs. They took Oklahoma City to Game 7. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, you lose that series. So for me to look at that now, look at the Clippers. Well, they got Zach Randolph. You got Blake Griffin. They got Marc Gasol. You got an athletic DeAndre Jordan, plays well alongside Blake Griffin.
I agree.
He's pretty good.
Rudy
Gay was injured. You got a healthy Caron Butler, even though Rudy Gay will be back now. You look at the guard player, CP3 and Chauncey. Memphis backcourt don't compare to that. Look how deep. They were almost in the conference finals. You can't sleep on the Clippers right now. And I dare say this. They're a better box office attraction than the Lakers.
You agree with that?
No.
Yes.
They still have Kobe.
Yeah, we're going to do that later in the show. Sure. I'll save my ammo for that one. But I will say, Chris Paul will maximize the skill set of Blake Griffin, which is still, to me, a little limited because he still doesn't have that 12, 15-foot shot.
We agree there.
Okay? But that alley-oop stuff that Chris Paul did with Tyson Chandler, look out below because they are coming down at you with that stuff.
They're going to be Showtime.
Yeah.
They will be. They're going to be a lot of high-flying dunks and mid-court alley-oops. It's going to be fun to watch.
Whoa.